perfect pronunciation. It's not about perfect
Yeah.
accuracy. It's not about no. It's
Yeah.
communication and
Yeah. Like, yeah.
vocabulary, right?
Yeah.
Normally the students believe they need to know all the words
Yeah. Everything.
for being able to speak, and it's like no, it's
Mm,
impossible.
mm.
Try to find a way to communicate with the words you know, and as you advance in your process, as you progress, you will learn other words and other words and other words. But
Yeah.
don't wait until you have all the vocabulary.
Good afternoon, Jeff. How are you today?
Hello, so I'm very good, very happy to be here with you today.
Okay, so today we are gonna do the podcast. So I think this is the first time meeting you with the English podcast, right? Okay, so I would like you introduce yourself and if you are ready. Okay.
Okay, so my name is Jeff. Well, actually, my name is Jefferson, but people call me Jeff. I'm an English teacher. I'm a lecturer since 2017.
Mm.
And
Wow.
also, so and I used to be classmates in
Mm.
our master degree program, right? That's how we met.
Yeah.
I've been teaching, like I told you, for almost 9 years already, right? I've been teaching in school, universities, and now I'm teaching online.
Mm.
That's basically what I do.
Okay, good to hear that, and thank you for introducing yourself. So I think everyone know me. My name is Saul, and you can call me Saul. And I am Jeff. We are the classmates. I'm a degree student in Chemical University, but we have graduated already. So it's a very exciting, right? Okay.
Yeah,
Um,
we graduated, what, like 3, 4 weeks ago. We received the official documents.
yeah, it's like a quick way, right?
Good.
Okay, so today we are going to do the topic that is the ESP, English for specific purpose, and general English. Okay, so now today we know that a lot of learners, especially in Myanmar, I know a lot because I'm from Myanmar. So they learn English every day. They study English every day, self-study also, but good at speaking every day in English. But when it comes to a specific situations like go to the clinic, speak about academically, they are stuck because they are not familiar with a specific purpose. So now is ESP, English for specific purpose, different from
Mhm.
general English. Okay, I would like to hear from you.
Okay, so we can make an easy comparison, right? For example, the most common English, like type, let's call it like the most common English type is what you call general English. What
Yeah.
is the English for every day? The type of English class that people normally have in schools, for example, when they learn how to communicate English in regular life, in daily life, the things that you normally do, right? Communicating with your friends, communicating with your family, doing simple things and stuff like
Mm.
that. But
Yes.
when we talk about ESP or English for specific purposes, we're talking about kind of like a specialization,
Mm.
like a special version of English that is normally related or is about
Yeah.
English for certain topics or English for certain fields. So you can have English for medicine, for example,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Yes.
Have English, the one I teach in my private lessons is like English for business.
Mm. Business.
So is when you teach as a teacher or as a learner, you teach or you learn to develop yourself in a
Mm.
specific field, a specific um, profession, a specific occupation. You can be
Yeah.
a lawyer, so you need English for law, right? You could be a doctor, so you need English for medicine, or you could be a
Mm.
business person, so you need English for business. That will
Yeah.
be the ESP uh, field or type of English.
Yeah, that's very good. Yeah, thank you for sharing your experience and knowledge and the ideas about it. Yeah, when it comes to speaking, like you mentioned, go to the clinic, we have to know a specific term, specific terminology to communicate with, to discuss we are suffering, what we seek, something like that, right?
And especially the doctors, right? Because they are
Yeah,
the ones who tell you and to
yeah,
explain everything to you, or if you're a nurse or stuff like
yeah.
that,
That is.
right?
Mm,
You also have, like, for example, English for uh, writing academic papers. That
Mm,
could also be a type of ESP,
yes.
right? If you want
Yeah.
to do research, for example, so you need to learn this specific
Mm,
thing for that thing.
yeah, that is that's one. Like Jeff mentioned, if you want to study very effectively, you have to know a specific purpose. I found in a business English, for example, they use um some words, but they have two meanings. For the daily English, they have another meaning. For the specific purpose, they have another meaning. So it can
Mhm.
make misunderstanding if you don't know it in a specific way, like that, right? Okay. So why do you think ESP, English for specific purpose, become more important nowadays? Yes, nowadays.
Mm. This is interesting because, of course, general English is super important, right?
Yes.
We can call that is the base for
Mm,
everything. You
yeah.
begin learning general English, right?
Mm,
So you can cover the daily activities.
yeah.
But when we talk
Daily.
about kind of like we are in a time of specialization, right?
Mm,
People, every time people want to specialize more in their job or in their work. That's why they go for masters, that's why they go for PhD, because they want to be
yes.
better at their job, right? It
Mm,
also includes your language skills, your
mm,
communication skills,
yeah.
especially in English. That is why it's so important because nowadays you need to be prepared for the specific challenges that you have at the
Mm,
specific
yes.
work.
Yes, it's good.
Also, it's necessary. For example, you right now we're talking to people from Myanmar because it's mainly your public and your audience, right? If you want to go abroad after you
Mm,
graduate, and want to work, probably you will have to speak English because it's like an universal language or a lingua franca, like some people call it these days, right?
lingua franca.
Like the language that you will use to communicate, the language that you will
Mm,
use to work.
yes.
So general English will help you in the regular activities, but when we're talking about you move for work or you move for study or you move for something more
Mm,
specific, it's necessary to have this. Um, in my case, for example, I teach to many students from Latin America, and they
mm,
are learning with me because they are working at multinationals. So
mm,
they really need or
okay.
they use English as the main communication language. And they are talking about presentations and they are talking about marketing and they are talking about management. So they learn business English because it's required for them to do their jobs.
Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, very good. Yeah, we need language. So we need language to communicate. Like you mentioned, lingua franca or universal one. We have to understand each other. They have another variety in English. They can speak, they understand each other. When it comes to speak another country, it's not quite easy to understand like the version they use each other. So that's why we have to know another variety in English. Okay, this question is very interesting, especially I think for Myanmar student. The question is that why do many students study English for many years, but stay struggle to use it? So how do you think that?
Question.
Yeah,
And my
interesting.
answer is like an important question, right? My answer is going to be based on the experience I have with my own students, right? And uh, because when I'm with my students, I'm not only teaching, we also have time in class to reflect about their process, right?
Yes.
How you are advancing, how you are doing, how do you feel, blah blah blah. Like all of these questions that are also part of the learning process.
Yes.
Um, so something that we have discussed many times is the belief that
Mm.
they have
Yes.
about learning English, right?
Mm.
So when I ask them, what does speaking English mean to you? They have many ideas about this, right? So for
Mm.
example, they say speaking English means to have a native accent, right?
Mm. Yeah,
Speaking
it's
English means to know all the vocabulary in the world.
mm.
Speaking English means to know the grammar perfectly.
Mm.
So all of these ideas that they have that we can call like a belief system that they
Mm.
have
Mm. Mm. Yes, yes.
is the base that they use
Mm.
in the
Yeah,
process. So
yeah.
for example, if you have someone who believes that speaking English means making zero mistakes, no mistakes,
Profanism.
they will they will have very big challenges because they are so focused on making mistakes that they
Mm,
don't dare to communicate
yeah,
because it's like they are afraid. Oh no, no, no! I don't want to talk because I'm gonna make
yeah.
mistakes. And
This
in
is
their
quite
minds,
common.
making mistakes is bad, right?
Mm,
Exactly, it's quite common. So of course there are many other interpretations, but that's what I have learned as a teacher. What you believe that is speaking English influences in the way you learn and of course the way you produce the language. So it's very important that you try to challenge the ideas that you have or probably the information that other people have told you.
mm.
Because speaking is about communication, right?
Yes, yes,
So
correct.
that is one of the main objectives, not the main, but one of the main objectives,
Yeah,
right? Is to
yeah.
communicate.
Mm,
But if you believe that making mistakes is bad, that is going to stop you from communication. That's
mm,
why
correct.
people can spend years and years and years learning because they are focused on making no mistakes, or they are focused on having the perfect accent, or they are focused on many other things or beliefs they have. So I think psychologically, that's one of the main reasons why it could be difficult and it could be challenging,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah, totally agree. When I teach younger students, especially online classes, so we always encourage them to speak English, right? But they feel like they're not ready because they
Mm-hmm.
wait for the readiness to be perfect in English sentence, pronunciations, and grammar, arrangement. Yeah, when you give them writing, they are very comfortable in writing. But when it comes to speaking, they feel like they need time, they need more days, months. So like you mentioned, yes, they're afraid of being making mistakes, right?
What I tell my students is that it's impossible to be perfect and
Yeah,
not to
yeah,
make
yes,
mistakes.
agree.
Really, but we even in our native language, right? For example,
Mm,
you in your native language, or when you are speaking, you will
mm,
make a mistake, right?
yeah,
Because
always.
speaking is spontaneous. We are just spontaneously talking,
Mm,
or even when I speak in Spanish, I make mistakes all the time.
mm,
So it's like, okay, if you make a mistake, just fix the mistake,
mm,
or there are mistakes that you don't need to fix because they are not big mistakes. People understand what you're trying to say, even if you made a mistake, right?
yeah,
So changing that mindset, like
I say,
changing
yeah,
that
very
belief
good.
system is one of the keys when you're trying
Mm,
to teach. I mean, talking from a teacher, trying to help your students, and as a learner when you're learning. Like, no, it's not about perfect pronunciation. It's not about perfect
yeah,
accuracy. It's not about, no, no, no. It's
yeah,
communication and
yeah, like, yeah,
vocabulary, right?
yeah,
Normally the students believe they need to know all the words
yeah, everything.
for being able to speak, and it's like, no, it's
Mm,
impossible.
mm,
Try to find a way to communicate with the words you know. And as you advance in your process, as you progress, you will learn other words and other words and other words. But
yeah,
don't wait until you have all the vocabulary, all the
mm,
words, because
it's
it's
not
not
possible.
achievable, right? Yeah, it's not
Yeah, yeah.
possible.
We are go on the receptive scale first, not productive scale, because we feel like if we are perfect in receptive scale, we are going to do in productive scale very easily. But it's not like
Mm.
this, right? You have to speak all the time if you want to improve your English. You can the question is that should schools include more ESP based teaching? Very interesting also, I think.
This is because, like, when we were talking at the beginning and talking
Mm-hmm.
about the difference between ESP and general English,
Mm,
it's important to consider or to understand that firstly, you need like a good foundation in general English
yeah.
before going to or moving to ESP. So
Mm,
it requires some knowledge first, right? So it depends. Probably, I believe in schools, what can happen or what is common is that you will have like some kind of ESP preparing students for university lectures, something like that,
yeah.
or for future or to be career or future ready or something like that. That is possible, but I believe, for example, in universities, it is
Mm,
super important because when you go to university, of course, you will be in your faculty or in your school. So if you're an engineer, it will be so beneficial to you to learn English specific for engineering, right? Or if you go to
Yes.
law school, or if you go to medicine. So it's a yes. My answer to you is a yes, but there should be some considerations, right? Because also, for example, if you're in primary school, well, ESP, not so necessary,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Because
Correct.
learning, you need to prepare first for the daily life.
Mm,
But maybe towards the end of your high school, when you're about to graduate in those
mm,
years, it could be useful to prepare yourself for some things. Uni, and when you go to university, super important. I believe it is
mm,
necessary to have one or two classes that will allow
mm.
you to be
Yeah.
prepared for your future field of work.
Yes. Yeah. Correct. That's one.
An academic skills class in our first year of master degree,
Yeah. Yeah. I
where
remember.
we
Yeah.
learn about research. Remember how to read that paper, how
Mm,
to blah
very
blah blah.
interesting and funny
Okay, yeah. So
and also very
it's
challenged. I have a lot of experience, especially teaching university, right? And then now teaching
yeah,
adults. So I think for the adult learners, they might need more ESP, right?
they are very focused students because they know what is their goal.
Mm,
You know, it's like, for example, the one of the first question I ask my students when we begin a class, because I teach one-to-one classes, is like, what is your objective, right? What do you want to do in this case?
mm,
And why is this your objective? So normally they will tell me like, Jeff, I want to take the English for business class because
mm,
I want to learn to do reports
mm,
for
mm.
my
Yeah.
area, or because I need to make project presentations, or
Mm,
because so they have very clear the things they need and the things they want to achieve.
mm.
So that is super interesting to do, also
Yeah.
demanding as a teacher, but it's good because you have to personalize everything, right?
Yeah.
And that is another difference. So normally when you have the general English, you'll have like a curriculum or a syllabus,
Mm,
right? But in this case, you don't have. It's
yes.
like I'm talking to my student, and as we are progressing, and based on the objectives and based on the targets, I am creating this curriculum. I am creating this syllabus constantly, creating. So it's like the at the time I'm at the same time that I'm teaching, I'm creating the curriculum. So I can finish a class today, and based on that class, I will plan what could
Yeah.
be the next move.
Yeah. The next class.
So all of these things are different. Are certainly is more challenging for us teachers because I could in one day normally I have to plan 3 or 4 classes because everything is personalized, new,
Yeah.
adapting
Yeah.
the material,
Personalized. Yeah. I
looking
love
for
that.
no, right?
Mm.
So it's something like that.
Yes. Yeah, very interesting. Your explanation is very good. Last but not least, and the most important thing, I think so. You have been teaching many years, especially university level, especially for adult learners. So the question is there, what advice would you give to someone ex who wants to improve English for their professionalism? I mean, for their job.
Well, the obvious one is for help,
Yeah.
right? For a teacher that can help you with that, like that is the normal one because when you're talking about ESP, it's a little
Mm,
bit more challenging. If you're
yes.
talking about specific field, right? You need to learn many things. So, for example, I teach right now. I'm teaching people for companies, but I'm also teaching lawyers. But I'm also, so as a teacher, I have to learn many things and be constantly looking for different information. I'm not a lawyer, for example, but I have to learn about this so I can teach my students.
Yeah,
So look
correct.
for that because it is it is not, for example, general English. Some people can go to YouTube and learn with YouTube, right?
Yes,
Because
yeah.
it's easier, it's more accessible. But
Mm,
probably with ESP, you really need the material, the resources to be prepared specifically for you. It cannot
yeah,
be
yeah,
general, right?
yeah.
My second recommendation is about the thing we discussed, and it's about your mindset. What are
Mindset.
your what are your ideas?
Mm.
Yeah. Normally, you don't need the perfect accent to speak English,
Yeah,
unless
I think
I
so.
mean, if you want to take the IELTS, yes, you have to worry because they will check your accent. But in the real life, no one is going to check your accent, right?
Yeah, correct.
No one is going to tell you, oh no, you don't have the perfect accent, so I'm not going to talk to you. It
Mm,
doesn't happen, right?
mm,
Uh, so those ideas that you have to be perfect, that you have to be like almost native, that you
mm,
is not true. On streets, when you are communicating with people, they are not going to judge you like, oh, no, no, you
Yeah,
say,
yeah.
he do instead of he does. No, because people want to communicate with people, want to understand.
Yes.
So it's important that as a learner, you understand that,
Mm,
because it will immensely reduce your anxiety and your stress and all these bad feelings when you're learning.
mm,
Speaking a language, English, Spanish, whichever you want to learn, is about mostly about communication,
yes.
right?
Language communication. Yeah.
So it's about that you have the ability, the resources to communicate,
Mm,
right? Even if you don't know all the words, even if you're still learning grammar, doesn't matter. That you find a way to communicate.
mm, yeah.
Of course, you can be almost perfect if you want to, right?
Mm,
If it's your goal, it's super cool, right? If you
yeah.
want to be like an incredible English speaker, right? It's cool, yes,
Yeah.
but it's not necessary all the time.
Mm,
So it's important to review your mindset and maybe
mm,
change some of the ideas that you have about the language, and when you change that, you will feel free, right? You will feel like,
mm,
oh, I can make mistakes. Oh, I can communicate even if I don't know everything. I
mm.
can do this and
All
I
right.
can do that. So
Yeah,
I
yeah.
believe that's important.
Yes, very good. So yeah, very interesting and very helpful tips, recommendation about this. Like you mentioned, yeah, we have I want to say that specific resources, we have to find the mentor. Yeah, for the like general English we can learn from everywhere, social media. But to be specific and to be effective, we need help, right? And then also our mindset, the how to think, how to see our language learning. Like you mentioned, we don't need perfect in communicate in a language. Language is about for communication, right? So if we can communicate, understand each other, this is. And now it's time to conclude. That's some conclusion. Okay, to wrap up, we have been discussing about how to make your English next level. The tip, I think, that is you have to be moved to a little bit specific to be more effective in your communication, right?
Any idea? I would
Yeah.
let you know something. Ooh, I have a question for you. What
But
do you
yeah.
think about grammar when learning English?
Oh.
Do you think grammar is important or not?
So the question is very, how to say that, controversial, I
Controversial
think.
these
Yeah,
days.
right. Because let's look back our school in Myanmar. Because we are doing English. We learn English not for communication, just for the
Yeah,
exam. That's one. Grammar is the king. We can say that. So,
yeah,
yeah, the teachers, the examiner, we check your spelling, your sentence structure, and your organization. So that's one. Grammar become more, crucial in our school, even the university. So they check their writing. But when I moved to Thailand, the education in the university is a little bit diverse. So they check everything. For example, academic presentation, we don't need to check their grammar and writing. We have to hear what they deliver their presentation, right? Sometimes, yeah, they need writing also opinion paragraph. We check, but not only grammar. Sometimes idea revelation also. Right? So how they respond. So I think grammar is important, right? Not
hmm
100%, but sometimes grammar help us make more shorter, make more easier to understand to another people. Sometimes grammar make ours like our mindset make a lot of worries. Am I making mistake because of grammar? We think. So we think. So when we speak, we have to know a lot of things, right? If the listener understand me, or how can make more clear. And only
yeah.
make mistake, you cannot speak freely. Like you mentioned, we don't have freedom.
That's why, and what I'm going to say right now is about my view as a teacher and the way I approach grammar in my classes, right? It's not like a truth, complete truth. I want to make that
Mm,
clear because grammar is controversial. So
mm,
for me, grammar is super important, but
mm,
not from the typical perspective of grammar to follow the rules and to be
mm,
perfect.
Yeah.
because that's the way what you mentioned, right? It's going to stop you because you're too worried about grammar.
Mm,
But when you understand that grammar is not about speaking perfectly,
mm,
but about being able to express your ideas correctly, and you are more
yes,
interested,
correct.
right? When
Yeah.
you are more interested in communicating effectively in expressing your ideas so
Mm,
everyone can understand, that's what grammar does. Because
yes.
grammar is not about rules and rules. I don't like the word rules, right? It's about
Yeah.
what the language teaches you, how you
Mm,
can express yourself better.
mm,
So that's the way I teach grammar in my class, right? I told
mm,
my students, hey, this is not about to follow a rule.
mm.
This is about finding the way for you to express your idea clearly, your
Yes. Yeah.
feelings, your
Yes. Correct.
ideas, your
Mm,
opinion. So that's what I want to tell people because, of course, they can choose my advice or not, right? But sometimes I hear saying like grammar, no, don't pay attention to grammar, and I will say like, no,
yeah. Yeah. Grammar
you,
is.
you you can change your perspective about grammar and you can see it from other way, right?
Mm,
But like we said, don't believe it's about not making mistakes. It's about
mm.
communicating effectively. That's
Yes.
something that I would
Communicating.
say.
Mm.
Because I see some people recommending other people like, no, grammar is not important. Don't pay attention to grammar. And I will say, no,
Yeah.
please.
Got their
But of
mind
course,
set,
of
right?
course,
Okay.
yeah,
The school judge them by grammar. That's why they might hate grammars.
it
But like you
becomes like
mentioned,
a punishment, right?
yeah. So,
Something like that. It becomes like the test that you have to do, and you have to make the perfect conjugation, and you have to be the blah blah blah
yeah,
blah.
yeah.
That is only grammar in school. Outside school, you will see the grammar is super cool, super incredible, and
Yes,
you will
yes,
learn to think
correct.
better. Right.
Yeah. Like you mentioned, grammar is not just correct mistake. Grammar is for make your communication clearly, effectively,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, yeah, grammar helps a lot because we need a form. Okay. Anything you want to
No,
break?
I already say what I wanted to say.
Okay, very
Super good.
good. Yes, thank you. So I think today that's all. And thank you for your participating in our podcast and I'm also very grateful for that. And so let's call it a day. Okay.
Thank you
Bye-bye.
so
Thank
much.
you.
Bye bye.